stream. Okay. So it's saying it's starting and looks like
here we go.
we're live, but I haven't got any.
We've got a nice
There we go.
spray paint.
There we go. We're here by the looks of things. There's a bit of a delay on my end looking this way, but yeah, there you go. I can see you nicely there on there. So,
Yep.
How many viewers we got? One. That's probably me, or probably you.
Me.
Here we go.
Good evening to one of us.
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Let's get this link on Discord.
It's been a while. It's been a little while since we kind of done anything like this. Most of the live stuff I did before were kind of like, like the music stuff and all that. So
yeah, you did that in a field, if I remember rightly.
Trying to be a bit more professional this time round.
Yeah.
We've got a few.
We got someone from Harlow.
Oh, 21HJW. I think I've worked you on. Definitely worked you on the bands. You got the Friday night DJ sets. Yeah. We did it for a while, didn't we? But anyway.
Was that when you got caught out in the rain? You got caught out in the rain, didn't you? That one night, and I nearly, I was going to come out with the coat, but you were like, no, I'm all right. I'll man it up.
Yeah. Keep it going. Right, we've got a few. Got a few questions coming in. We're going to do questions at the end, guys. Is that the plan, Charles?
Yeah. So we've got a few subjects to talk about. So your question might get answered before you, before you even get a chance to ask it. So
let's just do that. So we've got here a quick question. Those e-bike batteries, if I bike to work and it starts raining, how long will it be fine in the rain? I mean, they're not completely waterproof. They're sort of spray proof, shower proof.
I wouldn't start riding through a lake on it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, don't like, try and ride through the ride through massive puddles and it splashes up and everything like that.
I think maybe a Ford might be just fine, but then anything more than that.
And if you want to do that, you can maybe put a bag over it. If you're gonna go to work and it's absolutely slashing it down, you could probably, just stick a bag around it and tie it up. Probably be right.
It's amazing how much that question actually comes up.
Yeah.
Like, you'd never ask a car. You'd never ask if a car's waterproof, would you?
No, because I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's kind of everything. Not many things are completely like IPX6 rated or something. Not many things are completely waterproof.
I'm not waterproof. I hate it getting cold and wet, don't you?
Yeah, no, it's not the best thing at all. I'd rather be hot than cold for sure. I'd rather be too hot than too cold. Both are uncomfortable, but anyway, guys. So we have got 32 viewers on right this minute. 36 it's saying there, which is good. Welcome everybody. If anybody's wondering who this is here, this is Charles. I'm probably pointing the wrong way. Is it that way? No, that way. I'm out of sync with my thing. Anyway, so this is Charles, and Charles kind of handles a lot of Kirby bike stuff, and also he's a good friend of mine as well.
We were just speaking about the devil. He's actually on the chat.
What's this? What?
Mr. Ringway.
Oh, Ringway, yeah.
Yes.
Evening, Lewis.
Hello, Lewis.
Good to see you here, mate.
Say hi.
It only seems like the other day we were living our best lives in Turkey and having a lot of fun, but good to see you here, mate.
Shall we make a start on the scheduled thing?
I'm gonna have a sip of beer. Got the old neck oil here.
Yeah, I'm not as posh as Andy. I've gone for the old Coors Light.
Coors Light.
Yes.
You were asking me to go out for a beer after after the podcast.
Nothing wrong with that at all. We're going to start. So Andy's pretty much done what we're doing here in the intro to me. So I did say to Andy earlier, I want to give him a cold subject that he doesn't know anything about, and I've not even told him at all what this is. So Andy, it's about the iPhone 14s calling 911 on roller coasters.
Oh, what is this? Because this is the motion sensing thing that
so
detects man down.
Infinite wisdom that if you had a big car crash, that it would call 911, and in the voice of Siri. I like this touch.
Oh, you
It would
really?
give,
Does it
yeah,
actually say
yeah,
it in Siri?
yeah. In the Siri voice, it will give a location. It will give the coordinate, location coordinate, same thing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it doesn't do what 3 words actually.
Yeah,
That
that
be a
would be
great,
more accurate. But Apple
yeah.
don't own that, do they? So they're probably not going to use that.
It probably is open source though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so you get basically the emergency services get called by Siri
Yeah.
for somebody that's on a roller coaster, and it says they're doing 95 mile an hour downwards.
It's pretty much it sort of monitors the G-force.
Yeah, accelerometer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably.
So there's been some incidents where in America, I don't know how many, but I don't think the feature's enabled over here. I have told my girlfriend actually to turn it on.
No, it's not, is it?
It was still, you don't want like 10 ambulances turning up at a theme park, do you? Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, that's it, 100%. I mean, I did have an incident with this because I've got one of those Garmin computers that goes on the e-bike, and I had an incident where I just probably threw the bike down in frustration because something happened, and it called at the time my ex-wife. It started calling, and I was like, no, stop. Just picked it up.
I have had it happen once on the Apple Watch. So if you hold these 2 buttons here, it does start vibrating. It's quite violent actually when it does, but I'm guessing on a roller coaster you're not hearing that, let's be honest.
Nah, and what is everybody's getting the same 100 messages from Siri going.
Oh, it gives you a count. From what I understand, it gives you a countdown, and I can't imagine the iPhone is that popular to have.
Not popular.
Well,
it's the most popular phone,
many people. Yeah, I can't imagine many people are buying iPhones like in a group.
The new ones.
In a group of a roller coaster, what you got? 32 seats.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's also the thing, isn't it? There's also that new handset has got enabled in America only. I think it's got an emergency satellite transceiver in there as well, so it can call the emergency services by satellite. So that's even better, isn't it? Siri beamed into space and back down again.
A feature that's completely useless in the UK, from what I can think about. I feel like the only place you're ever going to use that is if you're like north of Inverness. I can't imagine anywhere down south, apart from a few black spots, like the B1000, which I travel on a lot, is a black spot.
I feel like Apple would just put in features in now to just so that they've done something for the next release. It's like
I did think
just for the sake of it.
I did think about this a little while back actually. Like, how much more can we push a phone?
Yeah,
like
it's already a torch, a camera, a spirit level, like whatever you want. It's already everything it can be, isn't it? I mean,
I use mine to listen to music while I'm in the shower. I don't need a boombox. I don't need. What else do I use? Like car radio. Like, I never listen to the radio anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
DAB.
Yeah. Getting back to this feature though, what's the solution?
What's the solution to that?
Yeah, solution. What's the solution to
disable it?
Yeah, but see, I got into an argument with someone on Facebook about this actually. Like, he said pretty much the same thing. You disable it, but isn't that going to take common sense? Which, as everyone knows, it isn't very common for what I can understand.
Digging through settings on an iPhone to figure out what you need to turn off and what should be on.
Or put it on airplane mode, but then you can't send your pictures to where you were at the theme park. The only way I can see this being fixed is Apple, who have got a large amount of mapping data, let's be honest. It just ring fence every single theme park off. That feature.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And that probably will happen.
Yeah. I don't know what happens in the genuine case that. I mean, I don't know why they want to get involved in this, because it must open them up to all sorts of different kind of litigations and stuff anyway, mustn't it?
And all honestly, me and my girlfriend were talking about this as well. How are you going to have that edge case where someone has a crash outside a theme park and you need the feature?
Yeah.
Like, the world doesn't go into boxes, let's be honest.
No, there's always going to be something around the side that, there's a dozen times where your phone is going to kind of be dropped or it's going to accelerate quicker. I mean, basically, if you take one of our e-bike kits out, you're probably going to trigger it. So, there's 100 reasons why that is it's just not a good idea, is it?
No.
Other brands have tried it, as I say, that Garmin thing. It might be useful in some cases, but
would you use the feature yourself?
No, because I've as you know, I've moved away from iPhones and all their extra bits. I'm actually slowly going kind of sideways to it. Actually having less stuff, looking at even like not sharing as much information. It sounds rich coming from a YouTuber, but like having less features and just it's that's why one of the reasons why I moved to Android.
All right, let's move to our next subject.
Move on
before we hear pointless crap about Android. So everyone knows cost of living's gone up. Petrol's been a big. We were talking about petrol before we came on live. We were talking, power cuts. Well, the possibility. The press is saying there will be 3-day weeks. Back to the 1970s.
It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad.
My mother is always reminding me how hard they had it back in the day.
Yeah, and it's about to go the similar way. Just to sort of, address the newer people that have joined the stream. Welcome. We're just chatting about general stuff at the moment. There's going to be questions and stuff at the end, but we're just having a chat. Charles has kind of got some interesting sort of tech questions, and basically just kind of asking me a few things. It's a funny one because I do a lot of videos and I do a lot of stuff and I don't necessarily make videos about it. So Charles's idea was to kind of, try and hold me accountable for some of the stuff I'm doing when I'm not making videos.
we are getting this does lead on to an Andy Kirby video. So just hold out. If you're bored for 2 seconds, we will get there. So cost of living. Has it affected you? Do you?
I mean, it affects everyone. I mean, I think you're looking at stuff in the supermarkets. Prices, stuff's just almost like half, 1/3, half again. Increased in price, isn't it? It's nuts. You've obviously got all the kind of energy costs and things like that going up, and that's like massive issue.
I want to take you back. I think it was 2019 you released that video. It's the wind turbine video, the little project you made.
Oh, the wind turbine video.
Yeah, it's got 1.2. No, you're not. You love that video.
It's one of the best ranking videos I think I've done, which is mad, really. But
you're the only guy I speak to with 1 million views on a video.
Oh, okay. That's over time. It wasn't like rapid time,
still an impressive figure. I don't know many people that have got like I say, you're the only person I know with 1 million views.
The e-bike ones, none of the e-bike ones have done that well, as well as that, which is mad. I think because it just kind of posed the question, like is it worth it? And at a time where everybody's looking at different ways of kind of getting free energy, and the thing I say to everybody is there's no way to really get free energy because you've got to buy a solar system, you've got to buy a wind turbine, you've got to buy ground source, you've got to do all these different things to get access to that energy. And if you spend loads of money on that, you might as well just spend, unless you're going to stay in an area and maintain that kind of system, you might as well just spend the money on the electricity because it's going to take ages to pay for itself.
One personal question for me that I've been wondering for a little while. So you released on the video, I think, sort of 2021. They had expanded and you left them in a field, from what I remember.
What's that? Batteries?
The batteries. Remember the blue batteries? They expanded because
they
went down to like 0 volts. Did you actually shoot them in the end? Because you told me you were going to.
shoot them.
Yeah, like you were going to get like an air
I
rifle.
don't own a
pistol.
gun, but yeah, no, no, actually, no, they're just. I think they're probably still in the same place. Actually, they swelled up. Basically, they're lithium ferrite phosphate batteries, and they were left in a sort of over discharged. I don't know if it was over discharged. Actually, I think they're probably just close to the bottom line, and all of them. There's a video. It just said the most swollen battery or something. They were in a pack, kind of connected together. And when I came back in, it was like all of them were like swelled out like that. And they were 180 amp hour batteries. It cost me about 400 quid or something. And I did all the experiments with.
They really didn't look healthy when I saw them on that video.
Nah, but I mean, some people said actually, they do expand, and they do expand and contract. And the idea is, you clamp them into a kind of housing, and then they can't expand, so they expel any gases and stuff out of the valve that's actually built into the top of the battery. So if they're installed correctly, they will let that gas out. But if they're not, then they just go pop. But yeah, they look like pillows. It's really funny.
For anyone that is wondering about the wind turbine, unfortunately, due to personal reasons, Andy doesn't have access to that. So, on that note, though, what would you do different? Yeah, what would you do differently if there was a two properly? Yeah,
because the worst thing about the wind turbine is obviously, well, not the worst thing, but the thing about a wind turbine is it's mechanical. So you got to make sure everything is, properly installed. And it wasn't. It was like everything. It was out of the box, and it was up, strapped to a pole within 50 minutes. And
it looked quite secure in the video. You had like a scaffolding pole, didn't you?
Yeah, I had the scaffold pole and I had all the bits, but I still didn't put it up properly. I think the bolts weren't the right size for the holes, and they were moving in it. After a little while, after about 4 or 5 months, it basically just shook itself to pieces, because the bearings on the actual spinner went. I don't know what happened, but it didn't work. There was one really funny story where I almost got it to completely self-destruct itself, because if any of you have watched that video, you'll see that, or watch that kind of little series where I was kind of messing around with that. I had a Victron solar charge controller. Now, having a solar charge controller on a wind turbine, it kind of can work, but it's not the best way of doing it. One really windy night, I kind of went out there into the shed, and I had an alert on my phone saying the Victron charge controller needs to do an update. I could hear the wind turbine going outside. So okay, fine, I'll just update the firmware on the Victron. The Victron, while it's updating the firmware, it just shuts off, and it basically just disconnects the DC input. So what happens is, when a wind turbine, when it's got no load, it will just spin, and it will get faster and faster until it basically will just probably explode. And that was happening. So it was firmware updating, 60, 70%, 75%. I could hear outside the wind picking up, and the wind turbine was going, it's getting faster and faster and faster. I thought, I can't have this like literally exploding and just sending pieces into the garden and into that side of the house. So I just shoved a screwdriver across all 3 phase wires and it almighty spark flew out, and then it just went and it actually braked, because that's how you brake. That's how you brake, yeah, but that's how you stop a DC motor. You basically, if you want to stop a DC motor fast, just short out all 3 phase wires. An AC motor, just short all 3 phase wires, and it will just come to a complete dead stop. Goes the same with e-bike motors as well. So yeah, does that answer the question?
Did it like? I'm trying to think of like, the only thing I can think of is like a nuclear power plant. Like you're in the control room, you're in control, right? But one of the 4 that you're controlling has melted down, and you don't know. Like, you're carrying on as normal. Like, did someone come running in the shed and like bang, 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 bang? Like,
No, everyone was too scared to go anywhere near that turbine. What it was doing about, I don't know how many RPM that was doing.
You had no one come knock on your shed. You're like, your wind turbine's on fire, mate. Sort it out.
Yeah, it was absolutely typical inverter manual. The aviation is written typical inverter manual.
Yeah, I did
self-braking wind turbine. Yeah, the thing is, the wind turbine controller, the one that came with that wind turbine, did have all of the features, the safety features. But stupidly, of course, me deciding to try and use a Victron charge controller, we'll see what happened, and that's what happens. So don't do it.
Don't ever copy Andy on any of his videos. No, I'm kidding.
For my next, don't do as I do.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you hate that when that happens? Look. Oh God.
I mean, have you got a screwdriver handy?
I've got many things in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to work. It isn't going to work.
Coming back to I think we should come back to the cost of living, because we're getting through these subjects pretty quick. And I don't have many more. What are you suggesting that people do to help, ease their bank balance? Right. I think
one of the first things that people say to me about, with all the solar sort of experiment and stuff that I've done is, I always get asked the question, oh, can I get solar? Will it save me money? Can I do this? Will it save me money? Anyone that's got solar and that's gone through the whole process of fiddling around with solar and maybe even gone to the expense of putting a proper system on the top of their house, they immediately, once they've done it, they switch into, oh, I've made this free energy. I don't want to waste it. So you change your complete ethos, like, of how you're using energy, and you're only doing that because you spent a load of money on a system. If you just did that in the first place, then you wouldn't need to do.
Is that like driving from watching sort of Top Gear? I have a Top Gear watcher here. I think Jeremy Clarkson said it. You turn into like the most eco-friendly driver because you've got the range anxiety. Like, it seems to be more of a factor. Like a petrol car, you get feedback. Like, you start putting your foot down, putting in sport mode. Start doing some fast corners. But in an electric car, you don't get any of that. From what I can understand, you don't get any of that feedback.
What, of how much sort of power you're using at that time, and how bad it's going to be as an impact to your range? Well, you do, because you stick your foot down and you see the range numbers will adjust. They'll go, you'll have 100 miles, and then you'll stick your foot to the floor, you'll do a couple of launches, and then it'll say like 40 miles. Then you can already half that for what you're really going to get.
I think the general consensus for it sounds a bit hypocritical with the amount of devices we've both got on in the background. I'm saying I've got nothing on, but Andy's got, how many radios you got? 4 or 5 radios back on there. It's just turning stuff off. I know my sister and her partner have put in a log burner. And what he planned to do is they've got a big black Labrador, beautiful dog. They've actually what he's going to do is he's going to go collect sticks. In the day. I
was going to say, because the wood's expensive. I was in Co-op the other day, not Co-op, Morrison's the other day, and they're selling a bag of kiln dried wood for like £8 now. It used to be £5.
Yeah, I think that is supply and demand right there, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Everybody's doing
and
that.
I think the law also changed about 18 months ago, didn't it? You can't use like wet wood, can you? From what I understand.
No, because it doesn't burn, does it? It kind of. It don't burn well, and it creates a lot of smoke and everything else.
It's the particulates I think they're worried about.
Yeah. So I mean, if you've got a good access to wood and you've got somewhere to store it and you can dry it out, then it's good. But it takes a long time to sort of dry that out.
Yeah, you're looking at 18 months, aren't you, for wood sort of...
Something like that, yeah.
Sitting outside.
But I mean, that it's a good thing to do. I mean, if you've got access to something to burn, because... basically the best way to generate heat is still to burn stuff, because everything else is literally like a conversion. You're taking electric to heat up, create a short circuit, and then heat an element up and then blow it into a room. So I heard that electric blankets were going bonkers on Amazon. Like, everybody's gone wild. Now that's quite an interesting thing, because obviously, I've got a heated seat pad in the Twizy. and that's like that runs on like 10 watts or something, 10 watts of energy. So you're heating yourself, not the area, and that's a lot more efficient and a lot more efficient way of doing it. Not everybody's going to walk around with a suit with, a heated suit, but it is way more efficient to heat yourself. And that comes on to another thing, infrared heating.
Yeah, the infrared heating in the trailer.
Yeah, because those are amazing. Because they heat you, they heat flesh up. They don't heat, they don't.
I think they've actually got those in the Stevenage indoor market. And they've got
suddenly start feeling hot, or is that just how much you spent in there?
You wouldn't spend much money in there.
No,
you've got they're like big long black tubes, but as soon as you walk in, it feels like, well, I've never been in a Italian salon, but I'm guessing this way it feels like to be in an Italian salon.
Oh yeah, it does. It's sort of like a weird heat.
It's like red hot as well. Like, I'm surprised your hair doesn't melt. It's that hot.
Yeah, it's odd. I was watching a video about it, and they had a customer appraisal of this system. So this couple had gone and spent God knows how many thousands, like doing their whole house in infrared panels, and they were sort of going, well, yeah, it's good. It doesn't feel cold. It doesn't feel cold. It's sort of, you're still getting the warmth of the room when you walk into the room and stuff, and you can tell that obviously they had the money to go and spend on this whole big system anyway. The house was massive, it was it does work, but it's not going to it won't feel the same
as sort of conventional
as a toasty house with a load of radiators pumping.
I feel like quite a few people have got this issue as well. So they work, like they live with their parents or they live in their own house, like say a 2-3 bed house, similar to what we've got. Or say that my parents got. I can't claim this is my house. So I think you do this as well. You work from home, obviously, YouTuber. Now,
yeah, what
when you're working from home, like you're in one room, like. What do you, every 10 minutes, or every sort of hour in a 10 minutes sort of thing, you go make a cup of tea, didn't you? Or you go take 5 minutes. Now, would infrared be useful, say, under your desk to keep your legs warm, and then you'll keep your core warm? Or would you be better off with a little blow heater? Or
I mean, it depends, doesn't it? It depends on the size of the room. I think if you've got quite a small room and you're just heating that up, then that's an efficient way of doing it. If you're heating the whole house, if you're turning your heating on and your whole house is getting hot and you're just sitting upstairs in the room, and it's obvious that that's a waste of energy, isn't it? Like,
I've just seen someone mentioned Stevenage Indoor Market, Anthony Wade. He's actually, Lee Frohook. He's actually from Stevenage. Lee, have you been in? Yeah, Lee, have you actually been into the indoor market and felt that horrible heat?
It's connect up solar panel. It's funny that, isn't it? Because connecting solar panels to something that's going to pump out heat. If it's sunny, you probably don't need the same.
I've been thinking about that. Yeah, he has been in there. It's horrible, isn't it, Lee? I have been thinking about putting like a little solar, like getting a little battery like you've got. I can't remember what you've got. Jackery, I think it is.
Yeah, Jackery.
Yeah. So the 8-bit guy. I don't know if anyone's a fan of him on here. He actually
advertise other channels on here.
He's got he's out in Texas anyway, so it's a bit different from sort of that's real weather out there, not like 40 degrees.
I'm only joking, by the way, for anyone.
Yeah, he's got a air conditioning unit that he runs off solar power, but he can run it all day, and all night, like just on a flat rate, and he can keep a room cool.
You got the sun for it out there, haven't you? That's the thing.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if you could do that in the UK. If you had, you probably need some big solar panels, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, even on a day like today, where it started off. I mean, here it was foggy, misty until midday. You've lost half the day, and you're not going to get a lot of energy this time of year from any size solar system. And if you think, you've only got to have a plug-in heater on for an hour, and that's used 2.2 kilowatt hours. So it's not enough. It's just not enough in this country really to provide heating. it can help a little bit. You know, you could use whatever you get to maybe just take the ambient temperature of your water tank, your hot water tank, up a bit, so it doesn't use as much energy to, like, you know, heat it up. But the reality is, heating anything is just you're chasing your tail. It requires a lot of energy, a lot of energy. It always used to fascinate me with like hot tubs, because if you have a hot tub and you heat that hot tub, it takes days for that energy that you've pumped into that hot tub. You're talking about, you know, not like a lazy spot or something like that, like a proper big one with a good volume of water. It takes ages for that heat to go from that water.
I'm going to bring up an old video that not many people probably watch, was the when you're in that fancy holiday home.
What one was that?
That was one where you were in. It had its own sort of. It had no grid connection.
Oh, the off-grid cabin.
Yeah, that was
like a bit of a collaboration, that one, with the guy that made that. Had a farm field, didn't have an electric power supply to it. The National Grid said that it would cost him 80,000 quid to put a power line in. So he spent 40 on a off-grid system, and it just keeps it running, keeps it ticking.
Was he dumping excess power? I can't remember the video very well. Was that dumping excess power into the hot tub?
No, it wasn't, because their hot tub was wood-fired. So it was quite clever.
Okay.
It was quite clever. They didn't have anything in there that was blatantly going to, like, rinse power. So they'd obviously got somebody in that knew what they were doing. They kind of made it efficient.
I'm not sure if you've seen or not. Pretty much the same sort of thing, but this whole house. There's a guy called Mr. Hydrohead. He's got like a 22 series on his hydro dam. Right. About how he's done it all. It's actually, you've probably got about 4 hours of videos there on this hydro dam, and I've sat and watched it all.
It's interesting, that, isn't it? Because that's free power. That is free energy, isn't it? It's flowing.
And he's running quite a big system. Like, and he's got some beautiful drone footage. You know, he shows about the, you know, it's like a bit like Clarkson's Farm. Like, he'll only release when something big happens or something. You know, the time
did you
scale.
watch that, Clarkson? I love that Clarkson's Farm.
I did.
Yeah, he's hilarious, isn't he?
The time scales you're working on, you know, people don't realise this stuff until they have to wait for something.
Yeah. No, this is true. It is true.
Like, he goes about like the summer melt and all that sort of stuff, and, like, you know, flow rates and wattage and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's not something. I mean, I haven't got a through flow of water, unfortunately, to work with.
No. We both do live on a hill, so that might be a bit difficult.
I noticed someone in the comments mentioned about doing more radio videos. I don't know if you've seen the last couple of videos that I've been doing with this stuff, like the deck stuff that runs on 1800 megahertz.
Me and Andy were talking about this.
It's not a call. It's just it returning to its base station. So go check those out as well. Radio stuff. I'm kind of at the moment, I'm fiddling around with kind of higher frequency stuff. I'm really interested about what's happening out there with this Icon 905. Watch this space. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to get hold of one. It's probably going to be way too expensive.
And he's going to start flexing his contacts in the radio world, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. But...
like Steve said to me, you're stage 4 in your CB radio and souping up your TT.
Yeah, that was funny, actually.
On that subject, so we get on to some drone stuff.
Oh yeah, another matter close to my heart.
Yeah, are you going to talk about your little incident that you sent me the video of, or is that a video exclusive?
What, with the DJ? No, with the DJ.
No.
So
no, the RC plane.
You might have seen this in the background of the videos that I've been doing lately, but yeah, we've basically got a nice Cessna. I started doing a video of it, and let's just say something strange happened.
Talking about rudder control at the time, from what I
talking about rudder control. Watch this space on that one. It's funny though, that, because after flying drones for so long, I originally started out flying RC planes, and then I kind of got into all sorts of things. I kind of didn't really gel with helicopters, but then it kind of left it a while, and then got into drones. And yeah, it's interesting. Like going from flying drones to planes, you suddenly find, well, actually, like, it's
This thing can stall,
yeah, there's that. But the control elements of it are, I never used to use rudder, but obviously flying the planes now, I found myself just automatically using rudder. But yeah, something went wrong. Watch this space. That video is going to be pretty funny.
Ringway is bringing some beef into the chat, by the way.
One more, I'm going for 10. Yeah, so you guys might have seen the video where I did the DTR 2450 test. I'm going to reach under here. Have I got one of them under here? No, I don't think so. Basically, they're like 2.4 gig radios, and I did a test. Got about a mile with patch antennas. That's about my line of sight from here. So this has started a whole thing between me and Lewis. Like, hey, yeah, I can beat that. So now he's off going up the top of tower blocks, speaking to his pirate radio friends and all this, and getting tours of tower blocks so he can put aerials up there now. So yeah, it's going to be game on. I've already been researching.
Is he beating RP? Oh, is it PMR 446 yet? And what did we get? 15 kilometers, didn't we get in the end?
It was quite a long way, wasn't it? We got a call from. We did get a call from Ofcom as well.
Yeah. You didn't tell me about it until like.
So by the way, that PMR 446 video. Yeah, they didn't like that. Again, someone just complained, started wanting to call some aggro.
He didn't really seem that interested. I think he had bigger fish to deal with, that guy on the end of the phone.
Yeah, I think so. At the end of the day, it's in the name of science. It's not like something we're doing all the time and everything else. But hey ho. Thanks. I've got a super chat thing there, 5 from MTech Garage. Cheers, Michael. Michael's the guy that's done pretty much all the work on my TT, all the actual hardware stuff on the TT project. So
I do keep meaning to talk about my cap. I do want to do I'm still thinking about the sports cat on mine.
You should just do it. Just get a track sag, or just DK.
No one makes anything for my car. I said this. Let's move on. Let's keep to the schedule. We could go on about cars. So what's next for drones?
Drones.
Yeah.
So I've been testing out the new Walk Snail FPV system, which for those of you that don't know much about FPV, so FPV's gone digital. It did about 2-3 years ago, and so whereas you used to have an analog camera in your drone and it looked like some old school TV, signal coming into your goggles, it's all gone digital now, and the leaders with DJI. Some politics have gone down with DJI and Cadex that make the cameras. Anyway, a new kind of, there's been a surge of activity, new digital systems coming out. You've got Walk Snail, you've got HD Zero, you've got, what else is there? There's, and I think there is another one. But anyway, I've been testing that out, and it's amazing. I mean, they're sending 1080p video now out of through over 5.8 gigahertz. So it's 50 megabits per second, the link from the drone to the goggles, and that's purely over RF, obviously no internet or anything like that. So it's absolutely incredible. The quality of the video is basically 1080p into your goggles. So what you're seeing from the drone is 1080p. It's staggering where it's going. And, the companies that have made this new system are very eager to kind of please the FPV community and kind of, make it the best system that anyone's ever seen, and answered a lot of questions. Because DJI, as good as the system was, they never really listened to the community of the FPV community. So they, loads of people asked for requests for different things like, head-up displays and stuff, and they never really were interested in making it happen. So yeah, that's what's been happening. And that little drone up there, that one there, you can see at the top, that's a 5-inch or 4-inch. Neil NJ Tech made that drone originally. I've now converted it to a Walk Snail system, because the Walk Snail system is smaller than the DJI system. You can fit, you can fit it in drones that previously you wouldn't have been able to. So that's it. That's what's happening, really.
Is there any updates on your DJI?
The lost one.
The lost drone, as I like to say now.
They mowed the field the other day. So that's as good as gone, smashed to
was,
pieces.
Just a bit of background for everyone. I used to actually go over to the other side of the woods where Andy was. I think you were standing, weren't you, when you lost it? You were standing. Yeah. So that used to be a place called Burnout years and years ago. And there used to be a lot. There used to be about like 15, 20 burnt out cars that were probably stolen off the estate.
Really?
Like back in the
How
day
did they
when
get in there? Could you? Because they bollarded it off.
Yeah. So that mound that you go over to get in, that was never there.
Oh,
And
right.
there used to
So
be
put
where
that
that is as well. There used to be like really big, like you go up 40 foot. And you know, back in the day when the only toy you had was a mountain bike, you know, and your Nokia 3310, you know, the only thing we would do is ride about, and we would ride down and up those hills. They are meant to be building houses on that at some point. I know my company, it's a house builder, did look at that site at one point.
Really? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they'll build on anything, won't they? That's a good place. That's a good little spot. You know, I wouldn't mind getting a few FPV boys around here to. I don't know who's in the area that would be interested, but you know, it'd be good to. I've said to you, I need to get you onto it. You need to have a little practice in the sim first.
I did buy like a back in the day, 5 years ago. I bought a drone. I don't think I've ever told you this actually.
Bet,
yeah, I bought like from like Mankind, like one of those 50 quid drones.
Cyma C5.
Cyma, it was like it was something cheap. It didn't feel, and I put in my 120 gig card. I'll film over my garden.
I had an SD card slot then. That's
yeah. And I lost both.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. The thing with the drone stuff is so many people do that, like yourself. They'll just go and buy something cheap, 30 quid, 40 quid, or whatever it was, and have a really bad experience and be like, I can't be bothered to do that again.
It took me.
That's the thing. And DJI, if you get a DJI Mavic, it's going to, what the new one now? It's like 800 quid.
It's a lot of money to lose. Like,
You won't lose it though. I know I did, but.
Yeah, there we go.
That was being a bit too cocky with it because I fly FPV drones. So I know how to fly. And just when you fly a DJI drone after flying FPV stuff, it's a bit like, this is fun. You just go off on one and just push the boundaries with it. But, it happened. I lost it. I ended up buying another one, which was, a bit of a pain. DJI did offer me a new one for like, I think it was like 250 quid or something.
It sounded like they'd done it at cost. I'm guessing that would be the cost.
Yeah.
Really?
Wouldn't be cost. No, they're probably. Yeah. I don't know though, because stuff's not as cheap as you think. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of electronics. Like, where is it? There's a lot of electronics in that. In the Adapto. It's a good drone. I'd really like it. The bad things I'll say about it is it's heavy, but that's like the same as all FPV drones. It's noisy, so you're not going to get away with flying this.
What drone isn't noisy?
No, they've got a lot quieter. The Mavics are really quiet now. Like
I don't know if any of our Discord members. I don't know if you remember any Discord members when Andy lost his drone and had to go into a bush, and I posted the video of that.
You remember that?
I actually heard Andy's drone. I got out. I saw his car. I saw the Twizy. And I actually heard the drone. At first, I thought it was the RC car because at the time you were messing about with that. So drones aren't quiet. Like people say. Like, I remember my friend coming over and taking a picture of the house, like the garden and stuff, and he was at 800 feet at one point, and I could still hear it clear as day.
What was it? Phantom 4?
It was quite a big, heavy drone. Yeah.
Yeah. The bigger ones are now, but the point is the smaller ones now. They're a lot quieter. They're still noisy, you can still hear them, but that thing's like the Adapto's like it's absolutely screams. It's not nice, but you can fly that around. I can fly it around really small spaces. I could come around here. I could go under this mic stand. I could, it's clever bit of kit.
Do you need a pilot's license for that, or whatever the drone license for that?
Yeah, you need to register it. It's over 250 grams, so you have to register everything these days. Yeah, but that's the other thing about FPV. It's a bit silly. Most FPV stuff is done in a real close proximity to you and kept very, very low. It's a bit like flying it's a bit like a radio controlled car that just goes about 4 or 5 feet in the air. With FPV, you rarely go so high that you're going to come anywhere near a plane or anything. So
and it comes back to my thing earlier. A bit of common sense,
Yeah, you got. I mean, you got.
It's like. Do you remember back in the day when you could buy a nice laser? You'd never. Your mate would shine it. Your mate would shine it at cars and planes and stuff, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, I think you're going to get into trouble these days if you try and do that.
Yeah, well, if you try and if you go to
a bit,
if you go to 1,000 feet near an airport with a drone, you're going to get in trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah. Right. So let's move on to our next subject of USB-C. So what I'm talking about there is USB-C common port.
Yeah, like sort of multi-power delivery, or.
Yeah, I feel like this is an argument between the EU or the people that make. I think there's a sort of consortium. I don't know a lot about it.
Probably USB is a standard, isn't it?
I should know a bit more about it. There's always seemed to be a bit more of a seems to be some government somewhere looking after this. It's a bit of a thing between Apple and whoever those people are, because Apple still refuse, even though they've done it on have they done it on the iPads?
I thought they did have USB-C on the iPads.
I'm not sure. I'm a, as you can see, I am a Windows person throughout.
Good lad.
Yeah. So I'm not actually sure. This is too old to have a USB-C. So the next generation on had USB-C. But my work laptop, which I don't have to hand, does have a USB-C, and that's a Surface Go Book, I believe. Now, my brand new iPhone, that's not even a week old, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a Lightning port.
Oh, that's the new one.
Yeah, this is the 14 Pro Max.
Great.
So
when did that supposed to have come into play? And
I've got the news article here actually. You can just Google it. I'm on the Sky News if anyone wants to have a quick read. Now they're talking about so you're forcing Apple to change to USB-C. At my work we had something called iGels, which are thin clients which you'd log into, and you use a Windows based operating system, but it's elsewhere. Now we've ripped all that out. We've ripped all those iGels out. Now you log into that system via your laptop now.
Okay.
Because the world's changed, people want to work from home. People want to work from the coffee shop.
So you're logging. Is it like basically like a remote, like a virtual machine somewhere else?
Yeah, pretty much. But that's not the key thing here. Every desk in my office and all the offices up and down the country have USB-C. And now even my previous employer, they pretty much done the same thing. So every desk in my company has a USB-C dock. They either have one or two screens and a mouse and keyboard. What the other advantage to that is as well is that you get hot desking pretty much built in.
Yeah.
And the other advantage is that I know it is a bit of a bone contention at the moment, but we're looking at booking desks.
Right.
So if you want to come into the office that day, you book a desk. Now, you're a seller of Linux machines, which is really not what you want to hear.
Well, I think that sort of thing that you're talking about there has been going on a long time.
Oh, 100%,
previously.
Yeah.
And Linux thin clients are not a new thing at all. Windows, there's always been remote desktop with Windows, and that's just basically just got one.
Since the XP days, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd have a powerage somewhere, wouldn't you, in a rack, and you'd basically just have, people logging in remote desktops, wouldn't you, and stuff like that. And what's happened is really to run a remote desktop, you don't need a 150 watt Dell computer sitting there chugging away, wasting 150 watts of power just to basically effectively show you some graphics and input your mouse and your keyboard. So that's the thing. Those thin clients you were talking about, do they run on USB-C?
No, they don't. They're actually the old school sort of style. Yeah. So they've got the big power brick. They've got the sort of what's the word I'm looking for? So they've just made the power brick for that device.
Yeah. So
It's not.
I mean, this is something I was going to talk about as well in another video. This is a new thing. It's so it's basically a Windows 11 PC, but it runs on ARM. So it's an ARM based Windows Mini PC. It runs on a Snapdragon 7C, so it's not an Intel one, and that runs on a fraction of the power of like an Intel CPU. So where Intel lost out was the fact that they didn't kind of go mobile in the early days. They were too long. They were too set in their ways, and it ended up being that they didn't develop any sort of very low nanometer system on chip stuff. So they kind of lost out. But it's Intel, so it's never gonna lose completely. Never gonna disappear. No. But that's why like Ryzen and all those guys have kind of come in. AMD have come in and just totally obliterated them for performance because
let's be honest as well. Apple have taken the ARM thing and just supercharged it. You're talking to us, and I think it's an M1, isn't it?
It's mad, yeah. Yeah, the M1 is crazy. It runs. I mean, obviously you got M1X now as well.
I'll tell you what we should do. I should bring my PC round and we should put. So I've got an i9 9900K in mine, big. 60. I think it's a 16 core from what I understand. We should put like the same video to export, in After Effects or whatever we use, and see what does well. And the other thing as well, we can monitor the power.
Yeah, you can monitor the power on both, and that'd be quite definitely an interesting test. Of course, the thing with that Apple has always been good at is harmonizing their hardware and their software. Like Final Cut flies on this, like it's brilliant. It's a powerful. I mean, the M1's a powerful platform, but I've had i7 MacBooks and stuff like that, and they draw a ton of power and get really, really flipping hot. And they've got how many fans in there, I don't know, but it's just quite inefficient. But
I was saying this to someone about Tesla the other day. So the advantage that Apple and Tesla have got is they own the hardware and the software.
Yeah.
So when they make a phone, they optimize.
Tesla or Apple?
Well,
both.
Both really. So both. Well, they do this. Tesla do that with their cars, because they know the hardware inside and out. They can streamline their process pretty much. They've got the engineers. They've got hardware and software engineers. Like and they're going to go like that, aren't they? They're going to say
they're working in the same. They're working in the same place. Yeah, they're not. They're not so much kind of in two. You got someone making a system on a chip, and you got a development team over there. They're now together.
Well, they could go talk to each other if they've got a problem with the software. They can go speak to the hardware guy and see what he suggests.
Yeah, and it makes for a powerful thing. So going back to it, talking about USB-C.
Do you think Apple will bend over and do this?
I mean, if there's regulations, they'll have to, won't they? I mean,
they've been caught out by regulations before, and I don't think they've really lost.
I don't really know much about the legals on it, but
it's a very, very, very difficult thing to, a big company like Apple, what, 2 billion or trillion. Like they're big, like ridiculously big, like sort of Bill Gates big. Let's be honest. And how do you actually charge your phone?
I charge my phone numerous ways. Sometimes I charge it. I mean, I'm using the new Samsung S22 Ultra, and I mean, fantastic phone, extremely powerful. Is it better than the Note that I had previously?
I wasn't gonna do this. I'll be back in a sec. You keep talking.
Right. So I mean, to answer his question, I charge my phone most of the time via just USB, slow USB, so kind of like 2 amp USB. But
I want to prove a point. What
here.
What
are you going to do?
Right, this is, you don't want to know. This is my iPhone box. Yeah?
Is that not? Oh, it's an iPhone, yeah.
Yeah, my iPhone box. I've got all the old bits of paperwork. Can you see where that charger is?
Yeah, it's a lightning with a USB-C on the other end.
What's the key thing though?
There's no power adapter.
No. We know that happens with Samsungs now. It hasn't
With
been
everything
used.
now.
It hasn't been used.
Okay.
So
Because you've got hundreds of them probably.
Exactly. I like to wireless charge personally.
Okay.
So like that.
That's good for the battery. The wireless charging.
Yeah, 100%.
Apart from it makes the back of the phone hot, and it probably makes the battery hot, which is not good for the battery.
Not the end of the world. I wireless charge. So I've already got the hardware to charge. I've got a pad in my car, as you know. I've got 2 pads down here because I like to wireless charge my work phone as well. And when the girlfriend comes over as well, she sticks her phone on it. You know, I've got a funny feeling as well. She's probably the same. Like she probably hasn't touched the charger at all.
Yeah.
Or the charging wire, just because I've already got the hardware. Like I am, when the whole big thing about Apple, you know, taking the charger out of the box, you know,
doesn't really affect you.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's interesting. I mean, I'd class myself as a, you know, power user, I suppose. I'd smash my battery in a day, whatever it is, because I'm using the phone now. I use the phone for videos. I use it as a camera because it's mostly more reliable than a camera because you're never going to get a flat battery. Suddenly your DSLR runs out of battery and you have to charge it, blah, blah, blah. So having a camera in your pocket that's got like, you know, 10 times telescopic zoom on is just nuts. And so everything's shot on that. So I need a solution where I can charge it whilst I'm using it. So for me, just sticking it on a mat would be great if I was to, you know, if I want to go to bed, I just stick it on the bedside table and it charges. Great. I don't do that actually. I just still plug it in. But I've got one of these things, which is like effectively just a USB-C charger, but it's a power delivery 12 volt USB-C.
What should you get out of that thing? Like pushing it to its limit?
I think I'd say probably 15, must be like 15 watts because it's like 12. It's about an amp. It's just over an amp. It's like 1.1 amps.
Yeah, about 15 watts, isn't it?
At 12 volts. Absolutely amazing bit of kit that, because it's got an 18650 inside there. I'd like to see somebody make one of these where you could remove the 18650 and you could just stick a new 18650 in there when that one discharges. That'd be really cool. But it's so cool because it plugs in the bottom of the phone and that's it. It's charging. You see the little charging thing on there. And that probably gets me 80% of the charge of this phone anyway, while I'm sitting here using it. So that's pretty cool. And also, because more and more things are coming with USB-C now, I've got this little RC charger as well for my drone batteries. So to charge little batteries like that, like a little 850 or 650, little LiPo, I'm using one of these little toolkit RC, and you just stick that in the top and you can get, you know, a couple of charges out in the field. And
he's definitely in the USB-C market, isn't he? Or he's definitely in the whole...
Yeah, I love USB-C. I've even got like a little light that goes, like a high-powered light that goes on the bottom of a drone, and that charges by USB-C. Every time I get something USB-C, I'll test it. I'll go, can it be charged at 12 volts, or is it just a fake USB-C that just kind of imitates a normal USB-C? I've got one of them as well.
Have you had a device that's emitted the magic blue smoke yet? What,
charging?
Yeah, so you plugged in the 12 volts and it was only meant for 5.
No, because they generally negotiate with the charger.
Okay.
And tell them that, you know,
that would be my worry. The magic
plugging in something. Yeah, it's always a risk, but I think if it's got a USB-C port on it, it would be designed to handle whatever you plug. Yeah. So I will plug my MacBook Pro charger, which is a big 100+ watt thing. I can plug that into here and it charges. Funnily enough, this is a weird one because this won't work off my fast Samsung charger, USB-C. I don't know why, but it just doesn't do anything. You plug it in.
Yeah. Final thing on this, 'cause, I think you want to answer some questions, don't you?
Yeah, we'll answer some questions as well.
How long before Apple do go USB-C? Do you think it's in the plans next year?
I don't know.
They will hold out?
I don't really care.
It will definitely be something. It will definitely be something to watch. You know, if they want to sell a phone to you now, like you to go back to the Apple ecosystem,
yeah,
which you're somewhat in with your Mac and your MacBook, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd lose the ability if it didn't have USB-C. I'd lose the ability to. I don't know if even if you can do this on an iPhone, but I'd lose the ability to shove that USB-C flash drive of about whatever it is, 1/2 a terabyte or something, in the bottom of my phone and dump all of my video files in about 30 seconds, and then I'm set to do a video.
Yeah, SanDisk have a product for that. But then again,
that plugs in the bottom of the phone.
So it's got a Lightning and it's got a USB-C.
So the Apple do support that now. Then you can just dump stuff on an external drive.
I'm not sure the background on it, but
because if you airdrop stuff, it messes with the quality. I thought.
Yeah. Well, anything you do, I've got an app. Like I actually move stuff over to if anyone sort of in the tech world, SMB share, which is just a Windows sort of network drive.
Oh right, you can just shove stuff on there.
I like to film in super high quality, like a gig a minute, 4K.
What, on the phone?
On the phone, yeah.
But how do you if you dump that over a network connection, it's going to take you ages.
It doesn't take. You get about 60 megabytes per second.
It's too slow though. If I come back and I want to.
Oh yeah. For your the way you make.
I want to do a quick turnaround on a video. I can't be waiting hours for it to transfer. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm disappointed that on this phone they did actually remove the SD card slot, because it did have a high speed SD card slot, which was helped with storage. But it just means you've got to manage storage a bit better now. But
shall we go to some questions as well?
Yeah, questions.
Some people.
I'm looking at the bottom of the list. I'm not going to go up.
Guys, get your questions in. I'm going to drop in a link as well to the Discord. Get that plugged, because there's quite a few people. We got 600 odd people on here.
Not right now.
No. It's like a chat. It's a chat room, guys.
If you want to ask some questions from Discord, because I ain't got that open on here, unfortunately on this thing.
Yeah, there is a channel, which I think I'm the only one that's actually put anything in there at the moment. So
okay, we can do it on here. What sort of miles? So I'm going to do chat questions on YouTube. But what sort of miles would you get on a 48 volt 30 amp hour battery on a Bafang 1000 watt Kirby from zero cool down? What sort of miles would you get on a 48 volt 30 amp hour battery? I would hazard a guess you're probably going to get. I mean, we did 60 miles. Neil, my friend Neil, NJ Tech Channel, did about 60 miles on a 17.5 amp hour battery with a phase runner controller. So if you went flat out with a 1000 watt mid drive, I'd say probably over 30.
Yeah, I don't think many people are riding 30 miles. Let's be honest.
Nah. And that's the thing. It's always a question, isn't it? Like, how many miles do you get on it? But in reality, you do a bit and then you charge it. That's how you run this stuff. You don't run it down to zero.
Yeah, I do like this question as well as the other thing. The what what train are you going to go over? What speed do you want to go? How fast do you want to get there? There's a lot to that question. Are you going to do any collabs with Louis this year again?
Yeah, 100%. Oh, it's him asking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a knob, isn't he?
What's your favourite e-bike? Well, it's going to be the Vapor, isn't it, for Andy? Modified Vapor.
Yeah, I think.
What are you riding? Yeah, what are you riding around now? Like in those recent videos you've done?
Oh, the Bezier XF01, I think it is 001. It's like Super 73. In fact, I've got another company sending me a new version of that kind of thing. It's 1500 watts, and I think it could be the one that I'm just gonna stick with, because I keep getting all these different bikes and it's kind of like they're okay, but they all do lack power. Like nothing compares to the power that you get from our DIY kits. Like it's that was the first thing I did, and ever since then I've been like, every time an OEM bike comes out, it's not quite as powerful. But yeah, this could be interesting. Really, you just need, you know, you need something that's pulling like 40 amps and running on like a 52 volt setup, 60 volts when it's, well, 58 volts when it's fully charged.
I'm going to stay completely silent because I'm only running. So I don't know if you've seen Andy's video. It was in one. I keep telling him to review it, but he won't. I've got a high bike, 250 watts. I don't think Andy gets. I don't think Andy gets excited over 250 watts anymore.
Nah, I don't really. I mean, I know the high bikes are good, and I think they peak a bit more, like 700 watts or something like that.
Oh, definitely.
If you're into cycling, they're good. They're good. But if you just want to go, you know, throttle, then yeah, you've got to build something or buy something with a lot more power.
Would it be possible to increase the top speed of my Mizuno Super 3K 72 moped? Well, anything's possible, isn't it?
What speed? What is it? What bike is it?
It's a Mizuno Super. Sorry, I'm dyslexic as hell.
A Medusa Super. I mean, the trouble is you're always limited by the motor's okay. The motor you can push, the controller you probably can push, the battery that comes with a lot of these bikes, you're not going to get much more than they're giving you without it failing prematurely, you know. So you could just stick a better controller in there in the bike and it will go faster, but how long the battery's going to last is anyone's guess.
What Alex Hardy has said, I keep selling you the stupid idea, which I think is brilliant.
What's that?
Andy, you should do an e-bike meetup. I've had this idea ever since I started talking to Andy. I don't know if you remember this or not.
Yeah.
We should do like either a point to point, like over 2 miles, and we have classes, like we keep like the 250, 500, 250, the law, and we do the times run. Or we do so that would be off road, obviously. Or we could do something like we could hire out like Northfield Airport for the day, and we do like half a mile drag race.
Drag races on e-bikes.
Yeah, and we'd get an absolute brilliant video out of it. Like that would be a good half-hour video, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's a good idea. I mean, maybe not Northfield because it's probably a bit too big, but if you could find I don't know, like you could find like a strip somewhere,
or even a hill climb would be quite good.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good.
That would be
pretty good.
It doesn't need to be a long track either.
I think just generally a meetup would be pretty cool. In an area.
Yeah, and watch everyone. Everyone will bring their bikes with broken things and ask you to fix it while we're there.
It is that. Do you know the funny thing about this, right? Is what I've been thinking recently is there's with FPV and drone stuff and all that and ham radio. There's big communities around that, and it's very like it's quite close knit. There's clubs. There's like things going on. Like people are talking a lot, but the e-bike thing is a bit detached. Like it doesn't have that same. There are people that are into it and all into the same things, but having one place where everybody comes together.
You've never heard of the amateur e-bike club, have you? Let's be honest.
No.
Like you have your Essex Hams and I think there's the Hartford Amateur Radio Society. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I don't know about that, but there's definitely one There's definitely a Harlow one, and there's Stevenage as well. There's clubs. There are clubs. Surron meets. Someone said Surron meets. Well, yeah.
There'd be like 4 of you there though, with how expensive they are.
There's more than you think of those.
Yeah.
Trouble with them is
they're insane bits of kit. I would love a go on one.
Yeah, I mean, they're not bad. They're powerful enough as it is. They get interesting when you run 72 volts.
Yeah, I think I would personally. I think I'd try to wheelie it and probably end myself anyway. So
they're easy to wheelie, I think, because these things are a bit more bit better balanced. Have you practiced any wheeling on your high bike?
I've tried, but I can't get the gearing and the timing right. Like I'm trying to Yeah,
do
I'm
the
trying to.
do
Yeah, no.
the
So
rear brake.
one of my friends had it perfect, and he said like, "Oh yeah, this is the settings." Like he was going up and down, like it was brilliant to watch. Don't get me wrong, could have done with some popcorn because that was brilliant. But I could not. I tried it on the same settings, and I just could not get it right at all.
Yeah, it's very tricky. I did it with the Vapor. I sort of went through a phase where I was just wheeling and trying to, do that
See,
with the Vapor.
I don't find. I don't know if you see people ride about or not. If they're just like leaning back and wheeling, I don't find that impressive. But
No, I think
if
you get to a
you're
point you're on the moment of
you're just on. You just got the balance point.
yeah.
Now,
It's
if
not
you're
too
doing
difficult.
power wheelies, like I
That's
don't
a bit
know.
harder
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you've got to have
exactly.
good throttle management to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. And the thing as well is, I hear on the A414, I hear it on a sports bike. Like you get that engine note change, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I hear that note sometimes
where
from
they're on back one wheel.
yeah. Well, that note there's a like load change, isn't there, when they rev it up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like when it's sort of
yeah,
it's screaming. This is a racetrack. This
yeah.
road that runs parallel to us is
Oh, 100. I'm not even
Hertfordshire's
gonna,
racetrack. Isn't it?
if I said it is, I would be a hypocrite because I was doing 70 down there the other week.
So, Alex Hardy, do you think an 8 kilowatt bike is enough? Yeah, I mean, 8 kilowatts is enough.
You'd probably
I
be
think,
doing
to have a
60
lot of
miles
fun.
an hour on that.
What it's kind of like with about 100 amps, 80 to 100 amps. If you never really ride a bike, and then you kind of build one, and you get access to having 80 amps of current, because it's the current where the torque comes from. It's kind of weird. It's game changing, because suddenly you could have a heavy bike with that's running 50 amps and it feels quick, but it won't make the front wheel light. You put 80 amps through it, or you put a battery in there that can handle 80 amps, and all of a sudden the front wheel just comes up. We had it all in the beginning when we were experimenting with the enduro e-bikes. As soon as you kind of open up the controller and just make it really pull some current, the front just comes up. It's just like.
You remember Steve's fake taxi bike?
Yeah, that's a weird thing. That it's all out of balance, that thing, because it's like they're so rear heavy anyway. Those choppers.
Yeah.
The front is so light.
Guess who managed to ride it full throttle?
You did.
Yep.
Are you just leaning down on the front? But you'd watched all the videos. You must have known.
And you've ridden bikes ages. I'm sure you could have balanced it out.
I was doing it for the video.
Oh, okay. You're doing it for the hype. You're doing it for the. I think the term is doing it for the gram.
Doing it for the gram.
Right, guys. I think we're going to do 2 more questions.
A couple more questions.
Yeah, a couple more questions. I think we're going to leave it there.
Have you got any your end? I'm just looking here.
Yeah, I've nothing on the Discord. They might be able to sort of like, if anyone jumped on the Discord right now, they'll be able to like get their question sort of straight in. Actually, tell a lie. I think I don't think I set this channel up right.
What, the Discord thing?
Yeah, I think
was no one able to join it.
Yeah, I might have said it up wrong. I'll have a look. I need to sort the channels out anyway.
Amateurs. Well, guys, if you want to see more of this sort of thing, covering all different topics, because obviously this channel but it always was covering loads of different things, not just e-bikes, not just drones, not just radio, but just all of the subjects that I kind of get involved in. If you want to see more of this sort of stuff, let us know. Definitely in the comments, because this will become a normal video after anyway. So you'll be able to sort of comment on there as normal. And if you've got any other questions, leave them in. Also, join the Discord. We should put a link to this, shouldn't we? Underneath.
Yeah, I have put it in. I'm just going to paste it again.
Yeah. And we're just going to chat about general stuff.
Yeah, I think Billy No Mates was talking about when you put your you had a big long wire. I think it was 11 meters you were messing about with on that e-bike. Or was it 2 meters?
Yeah.
You spoke to someone quite a character in America, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was funny, that, wasn't it? On this bad boy here. This one.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Okay.
Is it out of shot?
No,
I
you're
can't
just in
remember what
shot.
side you're on.
Mm.
Yeah, that was that. The FT891.
Do you remember? Do you think the person that you spoke to is watching, or?
I'm pretty sure he popped up on a comment the other day, and he said a comment. I think his name might have been Ray. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He did have it was quite a character, like not in a bad way either. He was quite a nice character.
No, funny. There's some of the
Yeah.
WAIFF here. That's your American ham radio, which is good.
That's a great question, actually. What do you think about the current state of the e-bike industry at the moment? Seems like
Are you looking at YouTube ones as well?
Yeah, well, the Discord one's very, very slow at the moment. So,
The current state of the e-bike industry at the moment.
I think we are that. So, I was actually looking at something on them lines because Steve, Dude Stuff, has raised this before, in one of his videos, and it'd be nice to get him on at some point.
Yeah, definitely. We should get Steve on here.
Same with Ringway. We should do like a Radio Focus podcast, or Radio Subjects.
Yeah, it'd be good. It would be really good. So yeah, the state of the e-bike industry. Yeah, it's a funny one. There's lots of new e-bikes. Seem to be coming from all angles, don't they? There's loads of different stuff. It's got to the point where, unless you want something that's really quick, you're probably better off just buying something off the shelf, because the stuff that I'm getting sent is of a real high quality. I'm not just saying that, it's pretty decent stuff. Like you'd I mean I could build as good, but it would cost more probably. So there's lots of different designs, and the thing about the Chinese as well with this stuff is they've been doing this stuff a long time. So they've been making e-bikes before we even knew what they were. The only difference is
you've got to remember as well, an e-bike, like from the ground, like it's been built from the ground up, it's going to have better brakes.
Yeah,
it's going to have better.
You say that, but some of these cable brakes that they're shipping out at the minute aren't great.
It all depends what you buy. I know that the high bike wheels weren't that great. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, well, they just.
Well, I decided to go for a ditch, didn't I? On mine, and the whole.
Folded up.
Yeah. So I'm actually over the weight of the bike. So I think it was 130 kilos. Hit the deck very hard.
Yeah, that wasn't good, was it?
No.
You need to stick some Alex rims on there or something.
Yeah, no. So I've got a halo.
Halo, good.
And I'm planning to put a halo on the back when I've got 320.
A lot of it is spoke setup as well, though, because you've got to make sure that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even attempt it. I'd just
take it to I don't even. I don't even service the bike myself. I take it to a shop.
Take it to a master wheel builder and get them to do it, because. My hope brakes are shot on my Vapor, and I can't sort them out.
Little plug. If you're in the Hertfordshire area, go to Highway Cycles.
Yeah, he's all right in there actually. To be fair,
they've just moved into that. Have you been down there since they've done the refurb?
No, they did look at me funny when I walked in there with the Vapor.
Yeah.
When I pulled up outside, I think I went in to try and get some. I can't remember what I was trying to do. I was trying to get some pads, maybe some pads for a scooter or something, and they had the Vapor outside, and a couple of them were looking at it, going, "What the hell was that?"
I can't think of the brand, but they've got some beautiful bikes in there, like legal ones. They're not the illegal ones, but they're about $8,000 though. Like unless you're making sort of managing director money, I don't think you're buying one. Let's be honest.
What sort of bike is it though?
I can't. It's an e-bike. It's pretty much like the high bike, but it's got all the premium products. It's got premium sort of brakes. Pretty much, it's all spec'd out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I did that video, I did that video about the Vapor, like how you can build a bike, and I didn't no expenses spared with that bike when I built that, and it comes to 4,000 ish. With my sort of discount that I got on the actual bike itself, the frame kit, but everything on that was premium. Hope brakes, they were like 300 quid.
I'm going to say it now, and I think you've said it to me as well. I don't regret buying the high bike. Like I
I think it's a decent bike, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
I was really, really looking at the Vapor. I wanted the Vapor.
You did, actually.
At the time, we couldn't get them.
Yeah, you came to me and said, I've got the money for it, but
yeah,
I
still don't regret it either. Like I don't think the Vapor would have been for me personally.
No, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. High bike's an amazing bike, and if it's a mountain bike, the Vapor is more like heading towards like cross between a mountain bike and a Sur-Ron. Really. Yeah. So it's a different.
Yeah, I want to be able to pedal as well. I want to get the health benefits. Like if I bought the Vapor, I'd probably sit on the throttle. Should we go back to questions? We're going down a tangent here.
Yeah. Oh, this is all good, guys. So
should we do 2 more questions?
Thoughts are going green. Your thoughts going green. 0 carbon. Not convinced. To me, it just seems like money making con. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff. It's like they say, oh yeah, go electric. It doesn't create carbon, but we all know that it does have its fair share of carbon and everything else.
Until we work out the whole thing of hydrogen and power generation to make hydrogen, we're not going green. We're not going 0 carbon. They've going back to this whole cost of living crisis and the whole we might have 3-day weekends. I think we've got 5 coal power plants on standby as we speak.
Yeah, we have.
Now we've managed to wean ourselves off coal. I remember the first sort of hour, like it was massive news. Like it wasn't massive news. It was like, I don't know if you ever read The Sun, and there's like those little stories. It's like a Burger King burnt down, but the burgers were still there, like little tiny, like little, not even a paragraph, like a line. It was literally like that on the metro. Like the UK went without coal for 5 hours. I think it was 2018 comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean that's just bad in itself, isn't it? Just firing up coal power stations just to.
But what other alternative have we got? The nuclear power plants are already at capacity. We're still waiting for that one. I think Cornwall Way, isn't it?
And we want to convince everyone to go electric on their cars.
Yeah, exactly.
And the cars are too big. Basically, everything that's electric is an SUV. So, and the amount of energy, all you're doing is you're just creating more.
Yeah.
You're just wasting more energy. Yeah. You're just generating energy in a different way. Even creating energy in a different way, but you're still wasting it. One person sitting in an SUV on an average is not efficient driving. It's transportation for getting around cities. I think micro cars. Why are they not? There needs to be more micro cars, more Twizzys, and more more small stuff.
Have you thought about a job at Renault? Have you thought about a job at Renault selling Twizzys yet? Or
I did approach them about chat wanting to talk, but no one came back to me.
Billy No Mates said the UK power plants have extended their lives twice, and they're coming to the end of their lives. UK lack of forward thinking. Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Look at the road system. The M25. Everyone in the country knows what the M25 is like, even the people in Scotland.
Yeah. I can run. I mean, I can run my Twizzy on free energy. I'm running my Twizzy on free energy at the minute, and I'm not even harvesting it efficiently because I'm not charging it. I'm not charging the battery directly. That's going to be another project I need to do. But yeah, just 3 solar panels, and it covers my nipping to the shops, going out and about.
You don't do many miles, do you?
Don't do many miles, and just for like errands and things like that. Yes, I could jump on an e-bike, and I do jump on an e-bike. But when it's raining, I don't want to jump on an e-bike. And if I want a little bit of protection from the elements, then I'll just jump in the Twizy. And most of the time now it fits through some side road that's got some bollards that all the motorbikes go through. I've found a really quick way of getting to avoiding the traffic.
There's me sitting in my Beamer in traffic, and there's Andy's TT just goes wafting by.
I mean, it's nice to have that TT, and nice to have that performance like when I want it, and I'll go and drive that and have some fun. But
shout out the M-Tech.
Day to day, I jump in the Twizy. Shout out MTech because he's doing the G Wiz project at the moment. And that he's actually, because he did lead acid, he went lead acid with it, and now we've been talking about going lithium, so he's going lithium already.
You should tell him to put some like Kirby bike batteries in it and just like put those in series or parallel.
You need proper, proper EV batteries. That's what he's got. He's got some. He's actually they're like.
Do you ever watch the I can't think of what the guy is. He hates Tesla, but he owns a shop in America.
Rich Rebuilds.
Yeah. Do you ever watch his stuff? Because he's always messing about that sort of stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, he's putting a V8 in Tesla at the moment, isn't he? Or diesel. They're putting a diesel in a Tesla just for kicks. It's funny, isn't it? It's just stuff like that.
Like it's a one-off. Yeah. Like it's not going to be ever done again, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, someone said, throw up. Think about e-bikes. I'm scared to leave it anywhere whilst I go in a shop. Yeah, that is a big problem. I mean, if I go to a post office or if I go somewhere big, like a big supermarket, like the Sainsbury's in the town, Charles, I'll take my e-bike in with me.
Yeah,
I'm just walk it around.
I would never leave my bike anywhere. Like I wouldn't even dream. Like the only time I would the only time I would leave it is to go into a pub with a friend. Like I wouldn't leave it on its own at all in any shape or form.
You can't leave them. You can't leave them, and that's why I do like the e-skates. Like I like my boards because that is more dangerous and more of a faff to ride around. But you can take it up the co-op, put it that way up the top because how not narrow that is.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't leave anything there. I wouldn't even leave I don't even leave my car unlocked there. I
wouldn't even leave myself there.
I think that's why the whole scooter thing's so popular because you can fold it up, you can carry it around. Like no one's going to moan at you for carrying a scooter, are you? Are they?
Michael MT. I've got his fat bike at the moment that he's we've got a fat rear wheel to put on it, and I'm still waiting for his battery actually. But he keeps writing this comment. I keep saying this. Wait till Andy finishes my fat bike. That's going to be a beast that fat bike when it's finished. When it's finally finished, Michael.
Yeah. What power is it?
It'll be 1500 watts, 2000 watts.
We need to get your mate from the Turbo place. You need to get him to race like the R8 that he had with the e-bike.
Oh, that R8. That's just next level. That thing. Honestly, it's so quick. Yeah. But he's just got a Tesla now as well. So he's coming across to the electric bit, and I think his comment was pretty spot on though. He said I wouldn't my Tesla won't replace my V10, right? But it's doing a very good job up to that point. Yeah, but I just don't like them. I just don't like what they look like. They accelerate like crazy, but they do run out of steam pretty quick. I've had Model 3s. I've beat Model 3s in my TT. You would do. It's 450 blooming horsepower. But
Jay Leno said something very similar when on Top Gear. He said, you remember horses? Like how many horses were there in the 1900s? Like years ago. But then cars came along, and now horses are seen as a pleasure activity. Like we all know someone who's got. My neighbour's got a horse, and that's her plaything. Yeah. Will that happen? Saying to one of my friends has got a Golf in his garage. And he only gets that only comes out on like a summer's day.
Absolutely,
it's got to be over 20 degrees. Is that the way sort of petrol's going to become?
What, like a niche?
Well, not a niche. It's just going to become a plaything, like more a pleasure.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
I wouldn't. I drive to Midlands once a week in my petrol car. Without thinking about it. But if I'd done that in say 40 years in a petrol car, is that going to be weird?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It
is.
It will be if there's no petrol stations.
Just taking loads and loads, a boot full of jerry cans.
Yeah.
Shall we? I'll tell you what. At the time,
we should probably wrap this up now.
Yeah. Shall we do one more question?
One more question.
Someone put in a good question. Come on, guys. 40 years you do that petrol car, I might be arrested. Probably. Oh mate, put me in cuffs any day of the week. I'm more than happy,
when we're doing upgrades for electric barges. Well, yeah, I haven't got into the boat thing. Do you know? I think Steve tried that, didn't he, with his
his
boat bike thing.
He hasn't done electric yet on that.
No.
I think electric barges are sort of built like as a one-off. Yeah, like you're never going to get electric barge off the shelf.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, there's no more decent question.
Yeah.
Vapor with do this one, last one.
Any plans to revisit the Vapor?
With the Adapto. No, you know what, Adapto, I had 3 faulty Adapto controllers. I thought they were bringing out, I thought I saw something the other day, they were bringing out a new controller. But yeah, I got fed up with Adapto. They just, I mean, to be fair, they did fix the controllers when I sent them back. Amazing controllers. And how it worked was great. Like the display had all of the information on. It had integration with the BMS as well, so you could see all the cell voltages. You could do fast charging from any voltage. I had a server power supply, Charles, at one point, and it could kick out 2,500 watts, and it would charge. You could charge my e-bike from that, the big e-bike.
Sounds really jank. Sounds like something that burn your house down.
Yeah, it's proper like crazy stuff. But they almost crammed so much into that it just wasn't reliable. So yeah, no, we're not going back to the Adapto.
Just that one last question as well from Andy. When will we get from Anthony? Sorry. Where will we get to the petrol from Garage you start selling it? You can still buy coal, you know.
Yeah, well, make your own. Synthetic, I think. Well, I think synthetic will have a thing. Porsche are doing it, aren't they, at the moment? They're trying to.
Do you know what? Leave that for now. I'm going to bring that up next
for
week.
now. Yeah, but you've written this down already. You probably talk about synthetic fuel.
I know about documentation. It's a good subject to talk on.
All right, guys.
So we'll leave this here.
Wrap this up. Thanks for watching, everyone. And you can rewatch this obviously again if you really feel the need to.
Do let us know if you like this. You know, we are on the Discord. Me and Andy do listen to the Discord. We don't just let it sit and abandon.
We're sort of pushing a little bit more on that.
I do want to
unloved in it for a while.
Yeah, I will try and get some names up because I do want to shout out the Kirby crew and the mods because they do, what they can.
Massive shout out to them. They're doing stuff behind the scenes.
I know One Nail. I can't get it up on me, so we got One Nail. I don't know if he's on here or not. That's a name that I already know. Filax.
Yeah.
These are names that sort of come up all over and over again. We've got, I'll tell you who we have got, who has also got a YouTube channel. I can't remember her name. I know her name's Danielle. We've got Stinky Pinky. Danielle 26DC260. She actually has a website, pmr446.net.
That's a good website, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Do if you're interested in radio, do drop her. She's she knows her stuff as well. I have talked to her in the past about stuff. So
we'll ping the link for the Discord and the invite. I'll do an unexpiring link for that, and then you can just join that in if you want to chat more on there. And thanks very much for watching. Thanks for Charles for hosting this, and
73s.
Interesting things to talk about. 73s. All right, cheers, guys.
Yeah, see ya.
Catch you later.